Hello. Okay, No Hard Feelings. The movie's released today here in the UK. I managed to catch a slightly advanced showing on Monday night. It stars Jennifer Lawrence and she plays a down-on-her-luck woman that makes this deal with a rich family in order to save her family home from being repossessed. The deal she makes is to agree to date the rich family's son in order to bring him out of his shell. I've never seen Jennifer Lawrence in a comedy before. This is the first time, and I really didn't realise how funny Jennifer Lawrence actually is. When it comes to delivering the comedy, the humour, she does a fantastic job. I really just could not take my eyes off her whenever she was on the screen. You know, through her performance, she just, you know, and these sort of little simple things she would do with her character I just found incredibly funny, and just the way in which she delivered the humour was just, it wasn't over the top, but it was just incredibly funny, but also very real, very relatable. Whenever she's on the screen, I could not stop smiling, chuckling and laughing, because I just found her to be naturally funny. She wasn't being funny for the sake of being funny, like, oh, look at me, I'm doing something silly now just to be funny. It felt natural and organic and just very relatable. I was surprised by how deep this story actually was. Like, don't get me wrong, this is no deep, dramatic, thought-provoking drama, but I was a little bit surprised by how deep it actually is. And, you know, you've got these two young people, one in the early 30s, one in the early 20s, these two different generations of people just trying to find themselves. And you've got these other themes that the movie sort of touches upon. It doesn't really delve that deep into them, but the one for me was social economics, and I just really appreciated that, though I felt like the film kind of just flirts with a lot of these ideas and themes that's within the story, and that leads into one of my gripes with the film, and that is, you know, yeah, I kind of liked some of the ideas and themes that it was flirting with, but that's all it does. And it's sort of just, it's got these ideas, but it doesn't really fully implement those ideas. And instead, you've just got these kind of sort of moments in between, sort of these deeper moments, you could say, of just classic kind of American humour, really. And I've got a preference when it comes to humour. I am more, you know, call me biased, but I do prefer British humour. No Hard Feelings does have that classic American humour, but I also found it to be quite edgier and obscene, which I appreciated as well. But then you'll have this you know, there's a moment at the end with Jennifer Lawrence on top of a car, and for me it was just very classic American comedy, and only because it was Jennifer Lawrence did it somewhat work for me, but at the same time kind of fell flat, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, Jennifer Lawrence for me really does carry this movie. She is so good in this film, and yeah, for me, I felt like if you took Jennifer Lawrence out of this film, I don't think it would have worked quite as well. At the same time, I do feel like it was a toned down version of what you would call, you know, these type of movies, what this particular type of movie is, which is those movies that you would get from the early 2000s, like, you know, American Pie and all of that. I feel like it is a much more toned down version of those, but with much edgier and obscene and maybe even elements of British humour within it. And I think that's why I kind of just went along with it. Because, yeah, I kind of like, it was okay. I mean, the overall experience for me was okay. There are times where I laughed out loud, but that was mainly when Jennifer Lawrence was on the screen. I almost said Jennifer Aniston there, I don't know why. And I did find, you know, certain aspects of the story to be a bit of a stretch when it comes to believability. Like, yes, I know this is a comedy, but sort of the main aspect of the story with Jennifer Lawrence's character having to date this boy as part of this deal by his parents to get him out of his shell. I just like, it shouldn't have worked, but I feel like it only works because of the writing and Jennifer Lawrence. Like, I just really, yeah, again, going back to sort of her and her performance within this film, just really carries the movie and just kind of holds the movie together. There were two moments in the trailers that for me screamed that those classic raunchy American comedies from the late 90s, early 2000s, like American Pie. And one of those moments is when Jennifer Lawrence's character has been hosed down on the lawn, and the other one is when she gets hit in the throat. And just, it's in the trailers, and it just screamed that kind of classic American raunchy kind of comedy really. But I was surprised, I felt the film was trying something different. I do feel like it was perhaps a little bit more inspired by British humour, but it shouldn't have worked, and it only just, for me, holds together. And, it's trying a lot of different things with its story. It's a very tender and sweet story. It does have this heart that I really just liked, and it kind of makes you feel good. But it is a messy film in terms of what it's trying to do, and even when it comes to the humour as well. Like, there were some moments when it comes to the humour that kind of just stood out, and it was like, yeah, it just didn't quite fit into what they were trying to do. But that for me was just the overall experience of the film. At the same time, it was a bit of a pleasant surprise, because it's not quite what I perceived the trailers to be anyway, what they were selling this movie as. And I ended up enjoying it more than I thought I was going to. Because at the end of the day, I just have a preference when it comes to comedy, and I did not expect to like this as much as I did, and I think a lot of it is down to just what they were doing with these characters and some of the ideas and themes it sort of dabbles with and touches on. There are some controversial aspects to the story as well, but this is a comedy, and you just gotta sometimes just gotta go along with it. And like I said, Jennifer Lawrence just really carries this film. I don't think this film would have quite worked if she was not in it, playing this character. And Andrew Barth Thielemann plays Percy, the boy in which Jennifer Lawrence's character dates. And found his character, through his performance, I found his character to be quite relatable. And I also thought he was really good in this film. He was also very good at delivering the comedy. So performances were pretty solid all around. So yeah, the humour mostly works for me. There are moments in which I laughed out loud and I did chuckle. A lot of those moments are with Jennifer Lawrence's character. There's also other characters in this movie which I don't feel like we get enough time with. And it just sort of goes back to me sort of when I'm saying about these different ideas and sort of different types of humour and comedy throughout the movie. It just ended up having this sort of uneven, messy feeling about it. And at the end, yes, you kind of feel good. It does pull on the heartstrings a little bit. It is a very tender and sweet story, and a lot of that comes to life through the performances of Jennifer Lawrence and Andrew Thielemann, who plays Percy. But at the same time, it just sort of ends on this flat note. So yeah, it's an okay experience. It was a pleasant experience because I definitely enjoyed it more than I was going to. I do recommend you checking it out. I think there might be people who will enjoy it a lot more than I did, or perhaps loved it. But for me, it was a very okay experience. That there were moments in which I really laughed out loud, and I really appreciated in moments in how sort of obscene that it would go. Like, this is one moment on the beach that it's one of those moments that kind of just stood out to me and was like, oh, caught me off guard, but at the same time, just fucking loved it because it was obscene and it's silly and it's stupid, but I liked it. So yeah, they are my thoughts, and I will be giving No Hard Feelings a 6.5 out of 10. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below and let's get a discussion going. Did you agree with me or disagree with me? Let me know. And if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to see future reviews from just some Welsh geek ramble on, then please hit the subscribe button. It will mean an awful lot to me. My next review will be for Pixar's latest Elemental. It was a secret showing last night. I'm a big fan of Pixar movies. Toy Story sort of holds a special place in my heart. And yeah, I'm looking forward to bringing you my thoughts on Elemental. But yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And I'll be catching you guys soon.